What's going on, you guys? Um, this was actually just kind of a random live video, rather. And I don't plan on making this live that long, because I just kind of feel like chilling. But just wanted to briefly give my thoughts on a few things. Just some things that I've come across that you know, I felt a certain way about, and I just pretty much just wanted to express that, you know. So I'll just get into it. So, I don't know if anyone's heard about this story. So there was this guy, basically. It was this white dude. His name was Joe Perez or something like that. Joe Perez. And I don't know this person personally, but what got my attention about this person a few months back was he was actually working with another man, uh, a young black man of the name of Julian. Julian, he's a black male. I forget his last name, but he goes by Julian, and he's a black male that was young, bright black man that's basically working on a invention or a project where he's basically taking plastic waste and converting it into renewable or fuel. Basically, he calls it, or it's called, I think, I forget how to say it, electropyrolysis or something like that. But essentially, he's basically taking plastic waste and he is processing it, or he's transforming it into through a process called pyrolysis or hydrolysis, however you say it. And he's basically taking plastic waste and he's converting it into fuel. So where I uh learned or found out about Joe Perez was Joe Perez basically went and helped Julian Brown out with his project, because Joe, he was basically I believe an electrician or an engineer or both, I can't remember. He was basically, he knew how to build things, and he had knowledge when it came to electricity, and I believe kind of had some engineering background as well. So that's how I was introduced to this white male that goes by Joe Perez, and kind of followed them a little bit. I kind of seen content where they were working together more and more. He was helping Julian Brown on getting his machine where he was converting waste into fuel, into renewable fuel, clean fuel at that. And so I seen that they were really trying to do something positive for humanity, for this world. And yeah, there's lots of people that do that, but it's just, you don't really see it where it's not so much profit based, basically. These two really seem like they were really doing it for the greater good, like the for the world, for the environment, really trying to make a positive change in the world, not just purely for profit. You don't see that very often. There's people out there doing similar things, but it's not necessarily on that same level. And so again, that's where I found out about Joe Perez, and from there I kind of, casually started following some of his content on, Facebook and, social media and stuff like that. Um, and, just kind of really resonated with a lot of the things he was saying, a lot of the things he was trying to do, his ideas, and it just really kind of just genuinely struck me as someone that was genuinely trying to just do good things for the world, not really, again, not really doing it for, money or get, material gain, just literally just trying to transform the world into a more free world for everybody, not, again, not just purely for profit. And so I really appreciated that. He was really just trying to use his knowledge and his resources to create a better, more free world. And so, I really resonated with that, with that type of mind, basically, and also Julian struck me as the same kind of person too. It just, seeing them working together, just, it just seemed very genuine, very, very authentic, very, like it wasn't just like, oh, I'm just doing this, just for, for monetary gain. It was like they really had their heart in the right place. And again, you don't see that, that often, these two seem like very, bright individuals, and again, very, very genuine people, and yeah, yeah. I mean, it's just a shame to, and if anyone that doesn't know that anyone that follow these content creators, um, Joe Perez was recently found dead. He was found dead, and in a lot of his recent content, he was basically saying that, he wasn't suicidal. He didn't have any health issues, and basically he almost kind of hinted that he felt like something was going to happen, and he was trying to tell people basically, if something happens to me, hey, I didn't commit suicide. I wouldn't kill myself. And so again, I just recently found, on the internet stories, news, a post saying that this man was found dead. And again, I don't know these individuals personally; they don't know me. So, I'm not trying to make it seem like something like that. But when you just see people trying to do good for the world, it just it's refreshing. Hold on one second. So, yeah, like I was saying, when you see people trying to do good for the world, it's extremely refreshing, and it just makes you feel like there's hope for the world, and that there's truly people that want to transform the world into a completely different kind of world that's more free and more abundant, not just for some, but for all. And, when I see people like that and they, coincidentally just all of a sudden come up dead, basically, I'm not going to lie, it kind of pisses me off because, it's a huge coincidence how everybody that's actually trying to change the world and make the world better for everybody just somehow magically, coincidentally wind up dead by suicide. And what I want to say is that I really think that we all need to start protecting one another. I really think that we as a collective and people, like-minded people that think like these men, that are trying to transform the world into that type of world, I really feel like we really need to start to genuinely stick together as a whole, as a collective. I mean, people that are really putting in the work to create a better world for everybody, that actually have the knowledge and that can actually, and that are actually putting in the action to actually make the changes into creating a better world for everybody. Like, we've got to start protecting these people. We've got to start looking out for these people. We've got to start sticking together. I don't give a damn if people start donating security, weapons, start donating, legal services, lawyers. You know what I'm saying? Like, because we cannot keep allowing these people to get picked off like this. You know what I'm saying? I mean, I'm sorry. Like, this can't just keep going on like this. Like, we have got to start looking out for these people that are actually putting their feet on the ground and doing things to actually make real change in the world. Like, we cannot just sit here and just let this shit slide like this. We can't do that. Every time somebody actually is doing the work to make real change in the world, again, I can't prove anything. I wasn't there. I don't know what happened, but I feel very strongly that this was not what they said it was. I feel very strongly that that man did not kill himself. I'm sorry. I don't believe that, and I'll just come right out and say it. I believe that someone killed him because of what he was doing, who he was. He was intelligent. He had the knowledge and the skills to actually, and the resources to make really, really big. And that's a threat. This man was talking about creating free energy for everybody. And what I'm saying is we have got to start sticking together and protecting these people, because the people that's actually really putting in the work, that have the skills and the knowledge to actually really start to change this world for everybody for the better, when they start doing that, we can't just let them just go out like that, y'all. We have got, and I hate to say it, and I know that people that consider themselves spiritual don't like thinking like this and think that it's negativity, but I'm sorry, like, you have to fight monsters like monsters. There ain't no nice way of saying it. I mean, it's nice to want to be all love and light and all high vibrational, but when you actually try to make real changes in the world, and somebody somewhere is like, nah, we can't have that, get that guy out of here, and all you're trying to do is just make life freer and better for everybody. Like, we can't, collectively we cannot just let that shit keep flying like that. That's not okay. That's what I'm saying. And that's part of my problem, at least partially, with the spiritual community sometimes, because it's like, I feel like the spiritual community, they care more about being positive and high vibrational than actually, it's almost like, rather than address the matter directly, they'll be like, oh, well, to solve that problem, you need to just raise your frequency and your vibration. Like, if someone's trying to harm you, they'll say some shit like, well, it's probably just you're somehow manifesting that into your reality. So to fix a problem, you need to raise your vibration and that problem will go away. Well, do you know that for a fact? I mean, I feel like Joe Perez was a very, what you would consider a high vibrational person. And yet somehow something really bad happened to him. If he was trying to do great things in the world for humanity, then why wasn't that enough? By, the mainstream spirituality, mind state, like with him doing what he did and trying to make the world better, like his vibration, you know, by your own thought process, he should not have manifested himself coming to harm if he was trying to do positive things for humanity in the world. You get what I'm saying? In other words, a lot of people in the spiritual community, they make it seem like just because, you kind of try to keep this high frequency, high vibrational, positivity narrative, like there's not real shit that you have to address and confront in this world. Like there's not real evil that you have to confront in your life, in the world, in reality sometime. And I just feel like a lot of times, like, the spiritual community's thought process is always one of, passivity, or like just, positive think your way out of every situation, or, just raise your frequency and these things won't affect you. It's like, I think that's a very naive way to think about it, because you cannot approach every situation the same. It sounds good to say, oh, well, let's just be positive and sing kumbaya, and all these bad, evil people will just go away. But all you have to do is just look around the world and see, like, that doesn't necessarily happen. Like, sometimes you have to take action and confront evil. Sometimes you have to actually, deal with shit in the same energy that it's bringing to you. I don't like it necessarily, but you cannot, like, in other words, like, you have to deal with a monster like a monster. You cannot be reasonable with unreasonable people. If somebody is hell bent on making sure that you submit to them, or that you stay in the position that is subservient to them, and they will use any means necessary to scare you into submission, mentally, physically, and spiritually, so that you never dare defy their supposed authority or power, and that they'll use any means necessary to stay in power or control, that's a problem that needs to be confronted. That is a real problem. And I'm sorry, you cannot positively raise your frequency out of dealing with those types of people, because these people are not rational. They don't play by the rules. And so I just feel like the raise your frequency, just think positive, just ignore all the negativity way of dealing with things is not always the answer. Sometimes you have to confront things head on. You have to confront things. You have to face a lot of these types of things with the same energy that they're directing at you. And again, a lot of my issue with a lot of mainstream spirituality is everybody is so focused on, positivity and being positive, but they'll completely look over things that need to be confronted, sometimes with force. I'm going to talk about something else too. You know, there's also been a string of lynchings across the states where black people have been being found hung. Now, I don't know if y'all heard about Nolan Wells, a black male that went out somewhere with supposedly friends and he never came back home. You know, now one thing I want to address that really kind of pisses me off. Whenever we talk about these types of things, there's always people that will say stuff like, oh, well, black people kill each other every day. And nobody's addressing that. But you're getting upset because you're making it a race thing because it's a black person that was supposedly killed by, white people. And my whole answer is no, that's not true. Black people that kill black people too, I have an issue with that too. But those are two different situations. Yes, killing somebody is killing somebody, but it's different situations. You cannot approach these situations the same way because the motives are different. Yes, killing your fellow brother is wrong, and yes, more people should speak out about that. But I'm sorry, a racially motivated murder is not the same as black on black crime. It's not the same because if you're a person, if you're black and you don't believe in killing people, but then some racist fuck just wants to hurt you because you're black, that's not the same situation. It's not the same thing. So we gotta stop being like, oh well, if he was a black person that killed a black person, you wouldn't be saying anything. Would I say something every time? Probably not. But I have said something in the past, and no, it's not okay. But because I pointed out this time doesn't mean that I'm only doing it because it's supposedly a white person. That's not true. I've spoken out many times about black people need to stop, but it's like white people kill white people too. Why do people act like black people that kill black people are the only ones? Like, I don't get that. There's white on white crime too. So we gotta stop making it seem like, oh, it's always just black people killing black people. It's like, no, it's not. Every race kills their own race. So, why do we make it seem like when a black person does it, oh, you wouldn't care if it was a white person? Like, yes, I would. And I do care when, again, black people kill themselves senselessly, whether it's gang-related or whatever. Same with white people. It's just something that is a waste of life. But I hate when people try to bring that argument into situations like this because it's like, no, it's not the same thing. But yes, I do care and it does matter, and no, they shouldn't do it. But getting back to my point though, there's been a string of incidents where black people are being found hung in public places, and it's starting to become more and more frequent. Like I said before, we and I'm not making this into a racial thing, because I don't care if you're black, white, whatever race you are. Like, we need to start protecting each other from evil individuals that are just evil and hateful. I don't care if you're black, because Mr. Joe Perez, he was white. He even referred to himself as a redneck, but just, I guess, not the racist kind. I guess, at one point in time, I thought that, you know being a redneck meant that you were racist, but this man is apparently trying to, help the entire world out. He, like, again, he worked with Julian Brown, and Julian Brown is a black man, a young black man that's trying to, do good things for the planet. So clearly he's not racist. So, again, I'm for black people and white people. And I think that we need to collectively confront these people, whoever these people are, that feel they have the authority to do these types of things. Because what they're going to try to do is make it into a race war thing. That's what they're going to try to do, right? And they're going to try to get blacks to turn against white people. This is what they do, because they're fucking retarded. But no, it's like, we need to really, again, we really need to stand together and start protecting each other, because this has got to stop. This has got to stop. It's been out of hand, but it's really coming to a head where these people, these forces, I don't know what you want to call them, they need to be dealt with. And I don't even know how to say that in a nice way, but whoever these people are, they need to be dealt with, because it's not right to do that, to just kill, first of all, just to kill somebody because you don't like them because of what they look like or whatever. And then you want to kill somebody because they're actually trying to make the world a more free place for everybody. It's like, what kind of insecure, weak piece of shit do you have to be, desperately trying to hold on to your power, that you have to do something so fucking cowardly? It's so cowardly to do what these people are doing. It shows how cowardly they are. That they would actually do that to good people. And again, I don't know these people, but when I see people trying to genuinely do good in the world, it makes me feel like there's hope for the world again. It reminds me that, hey, there's a lot of things that suck about this world, but when I see people like that doing good things and trying to do good things in the world, it makes me want to be a better person. It makes me want to be more patient. It makes me want to be more loving. It makes me want to be more giving. Like, it makes me want to be more, better and patient to my fellow man. When I see people in the world doing things like that, it makes me want to become better. It makes me want to become wiser, and it makes me want to evolve more, to even be like more like that, because it's coming from a very pure, heartfelt place. And when people are real, when they're genuinely heartfelt. And when I heard Joe talk about money, you don't hear many people that's really just trying to do good, and they're not motivated by money. That's one of the things that really stood out to me. He wasn't motivated by money. He was motivated by genuinely making the world a better place for everybody, just for the love of humanity, you know. So, and the same for Julian Brown. And I really hope that collectively the people find a way to help protect that young man or that man, because he is a man, and look out for him because he's trying to do good things. Like I said, I don't know these people personally, but from what I've seen, he's trying to do good in the world, the same as Joe was trying to do. So I really feel like we need to be looking out and paying attention, watching our surroundings, watching your people. I don't care if you're black, I don't care if you're white. We need to really be like on some, people watching shit. Like literally, I don't care if you have to get armed. I don't care if you have to get training, because these people are not about to sit here and pick all people like that. That shit is absolutely not going down like that. That shit is not happening. Like, fuck that. Ain't no bitches. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Submitting to no bullshit like that. That's not what this is. And I just really hope that people, and I know nobody's really going to see this, I'm speaking how I really feel, because again, like, this energy, this, whatever you want to call it, these kinds of people that are hell-bent on instilling fear in people and stopping progress and evolution of basically a newer, freer world for all. These people are desperate to make sure that they stop that, but they're not. They're not going to stop it. There's nothing that they can do to stop this world from becoming what these people that they killed. There's nothing they can do to stop it. I don't care how many people they take out. They're never going to stop it. It's actually, and here's the thing, and this is what I will say, and I will speak it because there's power in speaking it. The more they do that type of shit, it's like they're waking up a lion, because they're basically showing their hand. The more they do this kind of thing, it's waking more people up, and it's letting people know what's really up. You know what I'm saying? So it sucks that people have to be basically sacrificed for people to wake up and really see the truth. But at the end of the day, it's going to bite them in the ass. Because like I said, they're basically waking up lions, basically. They're basically waking up lions. Physically, mentally, spiritually, energetically. They're waking up the lion. And they're going to keep on pushing and keep pushing, and they're going to keep pushing until they can't fucking push no more. And more than likely they're not, and more than likely that's almost kind of what they want, because a lot of these people, they actually want a war. They actually want a civil war so they can do their fucking stupid ass martial law bullshit. We know what they fucking want to do. Everybody knows they want to have a reason to do martial law, but fuck that still. We don't fucking care. Nobody fucking cares, because honestly, at this point, they've shown who they are, and they have no fucking right to be in charge of anything or anyone. So whatever they say at this point is, as far as I'm concerned, it's irrelevant. Whoever they are, it's like that shit should just go in, because they've already shown what type of time they're really on. So when they speak, I hope nobody fucking listens, because They fucking shown what type of time they're on. I don't listen to fucking criminals, and neither should you. So take that for what it's worth. You know, it sucks that these types of things happen to these kind of people, but ultimately it's going to wake up the masses and show them what's really going on. But again, we got to start looking out for each other, and you know, people that really are trying to make true honest changes in the world, that are actually putting their money or their you know, putting the action in, and actually putting the time and energy into actually making real change and taking real action in the world. Like, those people need to be protected. They need to be protected, and they need to be supported. And you know, even if you can't support them monetarily, like, we collectively need to find a way to collaborate with these people, support these people, because they're doing it for us. They're doing it for y'all. They're doing it for humanity. The least we can do is find some way to support them, even if it's not monetarily. Like, I don't fucking know. Like, I don't know. Donate some fucking guns, or donate security, or I don't know. Donate some time to help them build or work on whatever they're working on. Hell, if I can, if I'm in the area, I got time, I'll be like, hey, you need help with this? You know, while I'm in this area, I'll help you for a little while. Just, you know, if you need some extra help, I don't know. Like, I will support you, because I believe in what you're doing. I believe in your cause. I believe in, you know, bettering the world for humanity, and everybody else makes the world better for everybody. Like, I believe in shit like that, you know? So, you know, I think that we need to start supporting these types of people more in whatever we can, in whatever way we can. And whenever people start fucking with other people, like, bring that same energy, return that same energy. Let these people know, like, ain't no bitches over here. Ain't nobody fucking scared of y'all. Fuck all that bullshit. Ain't nobody fucking weak. Ain't nobody scared. Ain't nobody's scared. Nobody. So anyway, I hope that people, like, understand, like, we live in strange times. Like, we need to just keep our eyes open, not be paranoid, not, you know, live in fear, not, you know, but just be aware, and just keep your eyes open, you know, kind of watch out for the people around you, look out for your friends, your family, and keep yourself straight too. Keep yourself armed. Like, I stay armed because, you know, just the world that we live in. I don't necessarily want to have weapons, but one thing you're not going to do is catch me slipping. You're not going to catch me lacking, as they say. I don't like weapons, but one thing you're not going to do is catch me lacking. You know, I plan on getting more weapons and becoming very, very well trained. I mean, I'm already trained. I know how to use a firearm. I have firearms, but I plan on getting more weapons for self-defense. And, you know, I think that you should too. I'm not trying to tell you what you should do, but one thing I do know is it is a universal right. Self-preservation is a right for all people. If someone has made it their mission in life to harm you, to force you to submit to them, especially when they're criminals, then you actually have a responsibility and a right of self-preservation universally. Universal law overstands all man's laws. You know, they make up these stupid laws to justify when they do these cowardly acts. and make up all these stupid reasons why, and lie. They're liars. So you have a responsibility, I'll just say it, to fuck these people up and let them know who they fucking with. Period. Point blank. Like, you have to learn that monsters cannot be reasoned with. Monsters are not reasonable. Monsters don't have any heart. There's no reasoning with these devils, is what they are. Demons that do these cowardly things. Only a coward, a weak coward, would do something like that. And I hate to be so passionate about, this, but you don't see a lot of people that are motivated by just, you know what I'm saying? You see people wanting to do good shit, but then it's kind of like, well, I want to make money first, and then, this product can help people, You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm not going to drag this out too much longer. I'm going to end it here. But, yeah, man, y'all protect yourself, watch your surroundings, and stay safe, y'all. Other than that, over and out. Later.